Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. Hey, Robert. How you doing? I'm sorry about yesterday. These computers are so funny. Every so often, things go out of whack. So I had to call my tech man and have him fix it. Okay. Now, I want to take off from last night's lesson. Well, if that's what you want to call it. Anyway, we were working with 6/8, and we were counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 in. We could also, how you doing, Larry? Your first time here, Larry? What we were doing with the singles, doubles, and double paradiddle and paradiddle diddles was we were thinking in 6/8. So what we're going to do now, we're going to subdivide that as instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 n, we're going to think of that as 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 n. And we're going to reference off the stick control book. We're going to do one surface exercises, and we're going to do linear concepts with that feel, the 6/8 feel or the 3/8 feel. Whichever works better for you guys, whether it be 6/8 or 3/8, is okay. Larry, if it's your first time here, email me, and I'll put you on my mailing list, and I'll send you the week's agenda and some PDFs if necessary. Now, hey Jim, how you doing? Anyway, yeah, you email me, and what we'll do is I'll add you to my mailing list, and I will send you the week's agenda, the locations of the lessons, because I stream on 2 locations. In the afternoon on this one, in the evening, 7 p.m. on my site, mattpatellallivelessons.com. So email me, I'll add you, and we're good to go. Jim, I think I got your password for you. So give me a call after the lesson. Not a problem. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Larry, because, you know, these online lessons are pretty cool, but I don't know who I'm dealing with. You know, if you've been playing 100 years, you've been playing 100 hours. Who you studied with, what kind of things you know, what kind of music you play. Anyway, let's get to the lesson, and we'll wait for the room to populate somewhat. And you have any questions, please ask and stop me, all right, if you don't understand something. And it's okay not to understand something. You know, that's how you learn, and you reinforce it, okay? All right, so now, let's take the stick control book. And we're going to go to page 5, line 1. This comes through stick control formulas, okay? Now, I make right become something and L becomes something. Now, this works with singles, and if I do singles, then I have to do a turnaround, which I'm not going to get into. So I'm going to start right now with the paradiddle diddle, okay? And the bass drum is going to remain the same all throughout. If I was playing a right-hand paradiddle diddle on one surface, I'd have 1 and 2 and 3. Now, does everybody who's listening or watching, rather, know how to play the paradiddle diddle, the sticking pattern? Okay, it's right, left, right, right. That's the right-hand paradiddle diddle. Do we all understand that? not what I just did on the toms and up tempo a little bit. You understand that. Now, this is a good exercise for a linear concept. I'm going to use three voices. I'm going to use the floor tom-tom, and I'm going to use the snare drum. Now, for example, if it starts with the right hand, okay, if I start with the right hand, I'm going to play the right hand between I'm going to play between the floor tom-tom and the bass drum. So I'm going to think of, say, 3/8. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now I get a left, it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and. Again, the left, 1 and 2 and 3 and to the right, 1 and 2 and 3 and. Right, left, hey. Do we get that concept? You'll see it come a little bit more together if I go to line 3, which you're going to have two right-hand paradiddles rather. You're going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and. That takes care of the first right. They go to the second right. Okay, now I go to two lefts in a row. I get 1 and 2 and 3 and. I don't want to play these too fast or up tempo. I want you to understand them, and it's a good exercise. We understand that, everybody? All right, to answer your question, Jim, you said you watched a couple linear things last night, which is good. Thank you. And what is Beyond Control, Volume 1? Well, that's a book that's been in process for the last 25 years, and I have all the lessons together. I'm trying to organize it so I could present it as a book on the market. And it's all about stick control book, all the possibilities from page 5, 6, and 7. Okay? And all my formulas, all the drum set applications, one surface application, so on and so forth. Okay? All right. We all understand it. And just do it slow, man. It's a good exercise. Now, I could do this a couple different ways, and that's the one way, you should hang out with. I don't want to give too many different ways to do that, because then you get confused. And I don't care how long you've been playing, you're going to get confused, or because I'm not projecting it correctly. So you're going to do the right. You're going to do the left. Now I'm containing it to 3 different voices here, and it's linear. You notice I'm not breaking the line. We know the definition to linear. If I was playing in 3/8, 1 and 2 and 3 and, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's linear. Well, it's not, what I do, all right, Larry, you're not accustomed to what I do. It's not on page 5. We are on page 5. Now, if that makes any sense. And we're referencing from the page. For example, if I took line 5 is presented to you as an exercise, a hand exercise. Got it? That's what's there. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm taking the sticking pattern, right, left, right, right. Let's just do that much. I made right equal this, become this rather. That takes care of the first right. Then my next sticking pattern is a left. So I'm making a paradiddle diddle the left side. Now, the next two stickings are two rights. Now I go to the second part of the measure, which is left, right, left, left. So I have left, then right, then left. Do we understand where I'm getting that from? I'm referencing it, I'm utilizing the stick control book as a formula. I'm taking this, the order of his sticking pattern, which I believe is a tremendous, it's brilliantly written. All right, the combination right, left, or whatever combination. For example, if I go to line 13, that's 4 rights in a row. Okay, good, Larry. It's a good exercise. Now, I'm not looking for speed because if I was, I mean, this would be a performance platform. It's an educational platform. It's an instructional platform. And I do things very slowly, okay? I got a couple comments in my email today that I do things too fast. Do you believe that? Too fast? Mercy. If I get any slower, I might fall asleep. But there's a reason for doing it slow because you want to get everything organized together. Now, what I'm doing here, I can do this another different way, which I'm going to give you right now. Okay? And this time we can incorporate 4 voices. We can incorporate the floor tom-tom, the snare, the bass drum, and the hi-hat. That's the forgotten foot, gentlemen. Okay? So, for example, if I did a right, I'd have, all right, if I did the right, it would be 1 and 2 and 3. And if I did the left, I'm going to take my left hand and put it on the snare. And I'm going to utilize my hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3. And back to the right. 1 and 2 and 3. Left. 1 and 2 and 3. And right. 1 and 2 and 3. And that's just another way. I don't have it written out, but that's also, Jim, that you mentioned that Beyond Control. These are exercises inside of Beyond Control. The book is about 300 pages. I'm thinking about putting it into three volumes. I'm not sure yet. What can I tell you, Jim? Well, see, you have to understand. You know, some people say it's too slow. Some people say it's too fast. And, you know, I try to reach a happy medium here. You have to understand that when people come and they view these lessons, they're of all different levels. Now, the thing I just did there with the paradiddle diddle, you got guys doing it at 9,000 miles an hour, which is good. But how can I possibly teach something like that at 9,000 miles an hour? It has to be broken down, done slowly and correctly, and then from that point, you grow. And I'm sure that everybody here agrees with that. Right, Robert? And for those who are not in the chat, would you please get in the chat? Marcio, are you here? Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, it's, you know, I get guys like, for example, come in here and take a lesson with me, and I'm teaching the triplet roll, and I'm doing it 9,000 miles an hour after I taught it. And they're commenting to me, oh, I can never do that, never do it that way. That's ridiculous. Everybody understands so far what we did, the 2 different ways to do the linear concept with the paradiddle diddle. Now, like I said, if I did that with the singles or the doubles or the double paradiddle, what I have to do is do turnarounds. And, you know, we did a lesson on turnarounds a while back on single strokes. in 4/4, 16th note formation. What I'm going to do is put a lesson together with the turnarounds for the singles and the double paradiddles. The doubles don't work too good, only because sometimes you got to play 4 rights in a row, and then sometimes you got to play 4 lefts in a row. So now we understand the first exercise I gave you and the second exercise. So that's 2 for today. Do we understand that, gentlemen? If you'd like me to go over it a little bit more, I will. Yes, no? And like tonight, for you there, Larry, if you want to come and view the lesson tonight, I'm at a different location. Let me put the location down. Well, we're going to do that again, Jim, the turnarounds. Let me just review it a little bit. I'm sure that Robert, I don't really want to do this yet, but I'll give you a little briefing. I'll give you a little taste of it. You know, I come up with all these formulas. You know, there's 1,000 different ways to do the stick control book. You know, when I get comments on Facebook or in my email, yeah, I went through stick control book 30 years ago. I guess it's time to pick it up and get the dust off of it. You don't go through stick control book. You remain in stick control book. Stick control book, everything you really need to know about your playing or your technique. Hey there, Mr. Otterson. Everything you have to know about your technique is on page 5, 6, and 7. The book was masterfully written. It's an icon in the book library for drummers. It's #1 book. Anyway, let me explain turnarounds. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do single strokes in a different formation, in a 16th note formation. For example, if I take 16th notes and just run 16th notes single strokes with the right hand, so I'm going real slow. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay? Now that's a right hand lead. So I said, okay, we'll work with the right hand lead. Let's work with the left hand lead. So now, we got 16, the same thing, but this time I'm starting the phrase with my left hand. So you understand the difference between the right hand lead and the left hand lead. All right, now what if I said to you, all right, keep playing that, but do one measure right hand lead, and then the next measure left hand lead, then go back to the right hand lead, then to the left hand lead. Something's going to happen here. And you can only be able to do that without a turnaround so fast. I'm going 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 4 E and a, 1. Now, something disrupts that rhythm. See, I went 4 E and the 1 E and the. Right. Now, what I did to make the change clean, all right, at the end, say to make the transition from the right hand lead to the left hand lead, was the last grouping of 16ths, 4 E and was a single paradiddle. Now you notice I'm putting accents on the first stroke of the grouping. So I have this, for example. I'm going 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now you see I put a paradiddle on there, and now I'm in position to attack the left hand lead effortlessly without any disruption of the rhythm. and 4, E, and I'm back to start with the right. That's what you call a turnaround. So I come up with formulas that R is going to equal 4/16, starting with the left hand. L is going to equal 4/16, starting with the left hand. So if I go to line 3, that's right, right, left, left. The first right is a right-hand lead. The second right is another right-hand lead. But then I need a turnaround on the end of that right-hand lead to go into the left-hand lead to make the left, left, and back and forth. So let me do line 3 slow. Now, that's all I'm going to do, because I will do another lesson on the turnarounds. Okay? And this is just the one surface, but we have drum set application and maneuvering around the drum set. Let me do the line first, and I'll talk a little bit. Well, I have 1 E and 2 E and. See how it flows? There's no disruption. Okay? It just flows. You're not creating any tension, which you should never do. And it just goes back and forth, nice and easy. You train in your hands. It's actually a natural thing to do. But sometimes, because of learning technique incorrectly, you're preventing what is natural from occurring. You know, I'm not saying what I'm doing is solid and gold and that's it, but it's the laws of physics, man. That's what it is. And you can't fight the laws of physics, because if you do, guess what? You're going to lose. Okay, well, good. I'm going to change it because you like it, Jim. Anyway, all right. Listen, tomorrow evening, I'm not going to be able to do a lesson. So I'm going to do the 1 o'clock lesson, and maybe I could do a longer lesson. I'm not sure. I hate missing lessons, but sometimes, you know, being a family man, things do come up that you just can't get out of. So tomorrow evening, the 7 p.m. lesson, let me do this. I'll tell you what. Let me, if you guys don't mind, I could do a lesson at 8:30 tomorrow evening. All right, how about 8:30 tomorrow evening on my site? Was that okay? I'll do the lesson at 8:30 as opposed to 7 o'clock. Do we all have that information? Larry, is that okay? Otterson, Jim, Larry, tomorrow evening at 8:30? Okay, you're in the UK. All right, so what did we have? 5-hour difference. It's 6 o'clock now? Yeah, this is the 1 o'clock lesson. I'm in the United States. So, okay, so that's 5-hour difference. So if it's 8:30, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, be 1 o'clock in the morning. Maybe you can't make it. Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe we'll just skip it tomorrow night, okay? I'm sorry. And I'd like to get everybody in it, because I hate to do a lesson with half the crew, and then I got to do the same lesson again when the half of the crew comes back. I mean, it's a good thing, maybe it's not. But anyway, all right, today, you weren't here earlier. You weren't here before, Mr. Otterson, about how I'm doing the paradiddle diddle as a linear concept in the beginning. So I'm going to go over that again, okay? Here we go. We take the right hand paradiddle, diddle, and we take the left hand paradiddle, diddle. Now what I'm doing there is I'm just playing right hand paradiddle, going to the right hand all the time. Left hand paradiddle, diddle. Now, what I'm doing is I'm breaking that up between two voices. The right hand, the paradiddle, diddle, between the right on the floor tom tom and the right foot. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and. So if I did, I'm referencing off the stick control. It's a formula. So if I did all rights, if this was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, I'd have 1 and 2 and 3 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and. I just did 4 rights in a row. So if I go, I'm not going to skip the lesson. It's not because of you, Larry. I mean, the deal is, you know, when I do a lesson, if everybody's in attendance, it makes it easier for me. All right. If you didn't come and Mr. Otterson didn't come and a couple other guys didn't come tomorrow night, and I'm doing a new lesson, and you guys come back the next day, and I kind of review it, it's like doing a lesson all over again. So I'm just going to take a night off, if you don't mind, okay? Anyway, back to the paradiddle diddle. R becomes, I'm referencing from page 5. The first line, page 5, line 1, is right, left, right. So let me, right, left, right, left. Let me do that. Let me do the right. Right, left. Then I go to the left and I take it to the snare drum. Right, left. All right, let me go to line 3. 2 rights, 2 lefts. Left, left, right. So on and so forth. Do you understand that, Mr. Otterson? And Larry, do you understand that? Jim, Robert, and whoever else is listening, because there's quite a few people watching, but nobody's in the chat. That really gets me crazy. I don't know why. Larry, are you on Facebook? I know you are, Jim. How about you, Mr. Otterson? Robert, are you on Facebook? How many guys are on Facebook here? You're on Facebook, Larry? Jim? Mr. Otterson? We understand. I also, when I was in touch with my tech, I had asked him to, I talked to him about the delay. You know, from me doing what I'm doing to coming to the screen and for you to respond. Okay, we'll get on Facebook, guys. And I have about 12 or 13 different drumming groups. And there's a lot of knowledge going on in there. They're called the Art of Drumming groups, Master Studies, Joe Morello, the Stick Control Formulas, Applied Rudiments, the Drum Solo Room, the Drum Tuning and Maintenance Room, the Art of Drumming group itself, cover tunes, pictures, photos of your drum sets. You know, it's crazy. I have actually 3 accounts on Facebook. Well, become a friend of mine. I have 3 accounts on Facebook, okay? And all my 3 accounts are just about populated. Marcio, you're late. Now, this is what I'm talking about, Larry. See, he come in late now, and he missed the whole lesson. So I'm going to have to do it again. And I will, as a matter of fact, tomorrow afternoon, review this. Marcio, the lesson is 1 p.m. It's 1:30. I'm about to pop off of here. All right, you come back tonight, Marcio, and whoever can. Well, I hope this is a good exercise for you, Robert. There's so much to learn. One day next week, I'm going to do some of the jazz concepts. All right, learning how to play the jazz time, developing some jazz independence, talking about song structure, and soloing on the structure. I don't know why. It's just maybe I got too much going on. I mean, I have I see 1, 2, 3 screens going on, 2 computers, a mixer, and all the mics. There's a lot going on here. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Otterson. I'm going to take a few of the friends. I'm going to clean up my list a little bit, and I'll add you. Well, that's a good attitude. I like that there, Robert. We're learning all you can. You know, when I was a punk kid, I guess you could say, and a hotshot drummer, I thought I was the greatest thing to ever pick up drumsticks. Little did I know. Ha! And the older you get, the more mature you become musically, and the more mature you become as a person, you realize there's no end to this. No end. It's the land of discovery. You take your technique, you take the music that you like, and develop it to you, your own voice. And you're on your way to being a very happy person. Okay, with all that being said and all that riffraff and all that good stuff, all right, we will see everybody tonight, 7 p.m. Now remember, tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday, only one lesson tomorrow, 1 p.m. Tomorrow evening, 7 p.m., no lesson. And we'll be back Thursday, regular time. Now I'm going to go back. I got a couple students before I have another stream. Plus, I'm working on a couple other books. Robert, I like that. All my life I learned. You know, let me just talk a few minutes. I guess I do a lot of talking. You know, every day is the beginning of the rest of your life. And yes, you learn by your past experiences and your new ones. How you take your new ones really, you know, is referenced from your old ones. Now, when I wake up in the morning, first off, at my age, waking up in the morning is a gift. That's number one. Number two, I just can't wait to find out what I'm going to learn that's brand new today. And sometimes it becomes so overwhelming. A door opens up for me, then another 10 doors open up, and out of those 10 doors, another 100 open up. So I get overwhelmed. I'm sorry, Marcio. I don't know Portuguese. I know hola. I guess that's Spanish. Oi. I don't know. I should take some Portuguese lessons. All right, with all that being said, guys, I'm going to blow out of here. Last call. Any questions? Work on the linear concept, utilizing the paradiddle diddle. And Jim, did you understand the turnarounds? We're going to do a whole lesson on that. And the drum set maneuverability. Okay, guys.